This is the Savvy Investor radio show and podcast with Mike Kinnett and Ryan Herbert of ProStatus Financial. Mike is a financial planner and estate planning attorney with a master's degree in taxation and 4-time Amazon best-selling author. Ryan is an 11-time 5-star Wealth Management Award winner and top-ranked financial advisor by Forbes. For decades, the ProStatus Financial team has been helping families build successful retirements and lasting legacies. Now, the Savvy Investor radio show and podcast.
Welcome into the Savvy Investor radio show and podcast. Glad you are with us. What keeps illusionist David Copperfield going at age 66? We're going to find that out. And a survey reveals that Americans are retiring earlier than expected. We're also going to find out why on that end and the math behind Roth IRAs for high wealth taxpayers. Of course, Mike and Ryan are here to help you grow, keep, and distribute your wealth in the most tax-efficient manner possible. The Savvy Investor Now radio podcast and on YouTube. Mike Kinnett is not here. He's got the weekend off. Ryan Herbert in the retirement hot seat. But I got to brag on your shirt. Is that a Bad Birdie golf shirt?
No, this is actually a Walter Hagen. Mm-hmm. I've looked at the Bad Birdies, but I just like the material of these shirts. You know, my wife likes to kind of comment on my shirts, but everyone else at the office really likes them. So, you know, I tend to just kind of go a little extravagant from that nature.
That is a good looking shirt. Now, are you the type that I've got one Bad Birdie? I mean, they're pretty pricey, and they're very comfortable. I'm the type of golf player that when I'm out there, man, you're going to sweat so much, especially during the summertime. It gets so hot that I don't want to spend, $1.25 on a shirt and then have it just be dingy within a month or two.
I'm really just all about comfort nowadays. You know, it's funny when people come into the office, there are some people that do expect for some reason or another that, Mike and myself are going to be sitting here in suits.
That's not happening.
Or ties or even button-down shirts. And, that's never going to happen. Mike and I like to joke that the only time you're going to ever see us in a suit is really, at your funeral. And that's really it. But, half the time you come in the office, Mike's in here in shorts and I'm normally just in polo shirt and dress pants because, like I said, at this point in my life, I am just all about comfort. There's no reason for me to be uncomfortable sitting at work or driving in the car for that matter.
Yeah.
Or playing golf. It's all about comfort.
It is. And if you're like me, you're not a good golfer, so you have to dress a lot better to try to make up for your deficiencies when playing golf. But hey, this isn't a golf show, although as much as we like golf, this is a show that's going to help you prepare yourself to play golf whenever you want in retirement, and that's the goal of Mike and Ryan at the Savvy Investor Radio and at ProStatus Financial. Let me give you the number before we get the show started, 866-597-1040, and online at thesavvyinvestorradio.com. That is going to get you a mulligan. Is that the right? I don't know if we're going to use that term, but that's going to get you in front of the guys to help with your retirement. Maybe you need a restart on your retirement, whatever the case may be. That information is going to help you get to them so you can make better retirement decisions. All right, so there is a video. It's from an old 60-minute piece. You may have seen it from about 10 years ago. And it's seeing some new life online now. It's called The Truth About 401ks. And correspondent Steve Croft interviewed a financial planner named Brooks Hamilton. And here is what he had to say. We played this a little bit on the show before, and we've talked about it. But listen to this. Here's what he had to say.
The fact is that the typical 401k investor is a financial novice. They don't know a stock from a line. And we give them a list of 20 or 30 mutual funds with really, really powerful names. They sound like, gee, that's where I want to have my money.
What are generally the quality of the mutual funds and 401k plans?
Mediocre. I'm going to be real honest with you. With half the funds on the list, really dogs, what people would characterize as dogs, shouldn't be on the list to start with.
Mediocre. I don't want to be in a mediocre fund. Has anything changed in the last 10 years? Because that's not giving me a lot of confidence in my 401k.
Some things have changed, but for the majority of it, in most 401ks, just like this gentleman Brooks talks about in this clip, it's not my favorite 60-minute clip. My other one is basically the general accountant for the U.S. talking about how much debt we have and how much of a problem it is, and I cannot remember the gentleman's name. But what he's talking about in this clip here is that mutual funds are pretty much the only option inside of 99% of the 401ks out there. And it's been that way for years and years and years. And, if you've listened to the show, you've heard Mike and I talk about how much we dislike mutual funds because of the fees built in them, the lack of control that you have with what they're doing inside of it. And then, if you're buying them outside of your 401k or outside of your IRA, it is that taxable issue that is there. But, a number of years ago, some 401ks started doing brokerage windows, meaning that your 401k is with Schwab or Vanguard or Fidelity. You're able to essentially just like open this window into the other side of Vanguard or Fidelity or, whomever it is, and really buy whatever you want inside of that 401k. And that's kind of where his comment about pretty much everybody who has a 401k is a novice. So, what the 401k has done for you is they've said, all right, here are the 20 or 25 or 30 funds that are available to you. And kind of more of what I've been seeing lately is they're getting rid of all those individual funds to try to streamline the process for most people and just offer those retirement date funds, which, if you're going to pick mutual funds, I think those are the absolute worst ones to ever use. For example, back in 2008, the T. Rowe Price 2010 fund and the T. Rowe Price 2015 fund were each down 28, 32%. And those aren't the exact numbers, but that's my recollection. And I use the T. Rowe Price funds because shortly before 2008, I was working for T. Rowe Price. So that was kind of my familiarity with mutual funds. So, 401ks have not really changed over the past 10, 15, 20, 30 years, however long that they've really been in existence. There are some people that can use those overall brokerage windows and buy the other funds that are out there. But then once again, if someone's a financial novice and they're just picking the funds that are available to them based on the returns, opening up that window and saying, all right, now I have access to the entire investment world at Vanguard or Schwab or anything, that's not really the best decision for you. And, there have been some other changes. The traditional 401k has been the way to go, but now there's the Roth 401k out there. And what happens when most people come into our office, when clients come into the office, the whole goal of sitting down with Mike, myself, and our team is to take that onus off of you as the plan participant, as the potential retiree, as our client, take the onus off of you so that you don't have to worry about here's where my money's allocated, here's what's happening in the market, what changes do I need to make so that Mike, myself, and our team are really handling that aspect of it. But then what we're doing for those clients that are still working is using our 401k X-ray tool. And we're doing this real deep dive down into your 401k. We're looking at the fees that you're paying. We're looking at the risk that you're taking. Because if you're taking 2 or 3% in fees and you're taking on more risk than the overall market, that's not really a good thing. And most people think that, I'm a conservative investor or a moderate investor or whatever it happens to be. But our 401k X-ray, what it does is it does this deep dive and it shows us here's exactly how much risk that you're taking. If the stock market does X, your portfolio does Y. So those are the things that we're looking at. And we're suggesting here are the changes that you should make inside of your 401k, because when we're doing these financial plans, by putting us on that retirement path, we want to make sure that everything in your financial picture is working together, not just the money that ProStatus itself is handling, but all of the other investments that you have. And if you want to find out more about how much risk am I really taking in my 401k, how much am I really paying in fees, and what are the best options, or are there any other options for me with my 401k, I encourage you to give us a call at 866-597-1040, 866-597-1040, and sit down with Mike, myself, and our member of our team here at ProStatus, and we will do your very own portfolio 401k X-ray. 866-597-1040, 866-597-1040.
Also want to remind you about the 401k X-ray. You can access that at thesavvyinvestorradio.com. Again, that's thesavvyinvestorradio.com front page. So 2 ways to get a handle on your 401k. 866-597-1040 and online at thesavvyinvestorradio.com. This is a complimentary sit-down, a complimentary deep dive on your 401k. If you've saved $500,000 or more for retirement, congratulations, but now is not the time to watch your money go down in case the market takes a sudden turn. And that's why the 401k X-ray is here. 866-597-1040 and online at thesavvyinvestorradio.com. Now on YouTube as well. So we got the cameras rolling. That way you can see this great information, and you can also take it with you wherever it is that you go with the podcast. 866-597-1040. That's 866-597-1040 to reach out to Mike Kinnett, to Ryan Herbert, and the entire team at ProStatus, because that's what you get. You get a team helping you to and through retirement, because their goal is to help you grow, keep, and distribute your wealth in the most tax-efficient manner possible. So lots going on here. Glad you are with us. So at age 66, illusionist David Copperfield certainly doesn't need the work, of course, even with a net worth of about $2 billion. It's with a B. Can you believe that? $2 billion. That's amazing.
As a magician?
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's just absolutely incredible. Good for him.
You're right. I mean, instead of making stuff disappear, he's making stuff appear, and that's a lot of money. He still performs about 18 shows a week in Vegas. A CBS News Morning asked him why he continues to work. Listen to this.
But I like it, I really enjoy it. I'm fortunate to walk out there and people are kind of happy to be there. And some people actually need to be there. People are in the front row and I can see in their face, take me away. I need to dream.
Look at that. Obviously, he's into what he's doing, but he sees the people. He feeds off their energy. He knows that when they're there, they're laughing, they're having fun. They've forgotten about life for a while. And that's what drives him. You guys have to see that with your clients. I mean, I'm sure you guys help a lot of your clients retire. They don't need to work. They follow Mike's 3-bad-day rule. If they don't want to work after 3 days, their boss ticks them off, they can get out of there, but they continue to work because they love what they do.
That's kind of the reason that Mike and I do it is seeing the satisfaction or the relief on people's faces when they come in and they sit down and we're talking about, well, when do you want to retire? How much do you want to have to retire? And sometimes the response is, well, I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to retire. And when Mike and I sit down with them, because we've gathered all the information, we've had conversations before they come in and sit down, and we say, all right, here's when you said you wanted to retire, so here's what it looks like when you can retire at 65 or 66 or whatever your number is, and here's what happens, here's how much money we're spending, here's how much money you're using. But if you want to retire earlier and make these slight adjustments, here's what retirement could look like for you if you want to retire tomorrow. And I always go back to Bonnie. Bonnie is probably, I don't want to say my favorite client, but she is one of my favorite clients because she really just, committed 100% to the plan when we were talking. So, for those of you not familiar, Bonnie came to me way back in, I want to say 2012. We were doing her taxes, and every single year I would ask her, hey, Bonnie, when are you going to retire? When do you want to retire? Because she was 57, I think, when it was 2012. And every single year I'd ask her that. And then finally we got to 2015, and I asked her, she said, Bonnie, when are you going to retire? And she said, Ryan, you always ask me that question, but I just assume that I'm going to just pretty much continue to work until I'm unable to do so. And Bonnie worked in the accounting side of T. Rowe Price. So she worked for a large mutual fund company, but she wasn't involved in any of the investment side of things. So it wasn't really her world. And the reason she was thinking that was, I've worked at T. Rowe Price my entire life. I've never been married. I don't have any kids. So, when it comes to retirement, the only type of income that I'm going to have is just my Social Security, and then whatever I've saved inside of my 401k and whatever I've saved outside of that. So, I don't think I have enough money. I don't think I'm ever going to retire. So I said to Bonnie, let's bring me all the statements, bring me everything. Let me look at the entire picture for you, because as I was only doing her taxes, I kind of had an idea of what was there because I could see her W-2. I could see how much money went into her 401k. I could see her 1099 from her brokerage account. I could see the dividends there. So I had an idea of kind of what was going on. And so I sat down and I ran all the numbers out for Bonnie. And I said, hey, you know what? I got great news. You can retire tomorrow if you want. And I think she was 59 or 60 at that point.
She just gave you a big kiss?
This look of like shock on her face, it wasn't so much relief as it is most people. It was this story of shock. And I was like, you can retire tomorrow. You know, you've done a great job. You have money in a Roth account. You have money in your 401k. You have money in a brokerage account. And you've been buying all this T. Rowe stock over the years. So you have money in all these different places. And based upon what you're spending and how much you're going to have coming in Social Security, there's enough money there to give you the income stream that you need to have for the rest of your life.
So let me stop you right there, because you just dropped a bomb on her, you know, and a good bomb. What was her reaction? Man, you can retire, Bonnie. You can do this. That's big news. That's life-changing news.
It was a shock to her. You know, she, like I said, she had always thought that I'm never going to be able to retire. And here I am saying, hey, go tell your boss I'm out of here, you know, that type of thing.
Peace out, man.
Yeah. So, you know, it probably took her 5 or 6 months, I would say, of continually talking to me. You know, are you sure? Let's look at the numbers. Because she was an accountant. She wanted to understand all the numbers. And so, you know, eventually what I was telling her was, Bonnie, you are working now because you want to. Everything that you're earning now, everything that you're saving now is just extra money. You're going to be leaving it behind to, you know, whomever it is. There's no kids. There's not a spouse that you need to make sure is taken care of. There's no kids you need to take care of. You know, all we're doing is leaving money to nieces and nephews and some charities. So unless your goal is to leave these people as more money than, you know, what you have now, there's not really a point in working anymore. So we gave her that 3 bad day rule of knowing that I'm working because I want to work. I'm not working because I have to be here. If they ask me to do something that I don't want to do for more than 3 days in a row, I can quit. Yeah. And eventually, like I said, it took her about 5 months. And then she said, that's it. I'm done. Ryan, I'm retiring. Let's put this plan in action. Let's get the income going so that I have the income coming in. So when we had that conversation, I said, okay, Bonnie, that's great. Here's what the income's going to look like now. But since you have all this money in other accounts, let's enact a tax plan. Let's start doing Roth conversions, because you have money in all these different accounts. We can layer the income in on your tax return. And for Bonnie, you know, I talk about her all the time, and oftentimes radio listeners come in and they say, I want the Bonnie plan. I get emails from clients and put me on the Bonnie plan, because for Bonnie, she needed to have about $105,000 worth of income after taxes. That let her live the lifestyle she wanted. It let her donate the money to the charities that she donated, support the people she wanted to support. And so it took us from 2015 all the way up until 2021 of putting this tax plan in place, converting money every single year, taking money from these various sources. And then once we hit 2021, that's when the plan was realized. And then just last year, we did her taxes for 2022, and I can't remember 21's numbers. But for 2022, she had a little over $109,000 of income between Social Security, money coming out of the IRA, dividends and interest, and money coming in from her Roth account. And all together, between all the different sources of income that Bonnie had, she paid $952 in federal and state taxes combined.
So what was her income again?
It's a little north of 109,000. I was like a 109,850 something, I think.
So 109 grand, and tell me again, because it's hard to believe.
$952 in federal and state income taxes.
But see, Ryan, you just made the point. She didn't do it overnight. You guys didn't do it overnight. You can't do it overnight. It's just impossible. That took a long time and a lot of planning. Is that why I saw this? And by the way, remember this, the Bonnie plan. Is that why there's a new survey? Americans are retiring earlier than expected. It found that on average that they initially thought that they would retire at age 63, but instead left the workforce at age 61 and a half. Is that because more people are heeding what you and Mike Kinnett talk about, that they're creating a plan for retirement?
I think so. And I think it's just the fact that people are, you know, I've worked so hard. Why am I going to continue to do this? I've done a great job of saving money. If I have enough money, what's the point? Life is short. I want to go out and enjoy retirement. I want to live the lifestyle that I want. And it's when I sit down with clients and we talk about, all right, you said you wanted to retire at 66. You're 60 years old. You can retire in a year. Wow. Why not do that? Why not go out? What good is all this money that you have if at age 70, you're not able to do everything that you could do at 61? Why not take the time now? Explore the possibility of, can I retire now? Can I retire earlier? So that way I can enjoy my retirement life. That's the number one thing. Enjoyment in retirement, making sure that if I'm working right now, I'm working because I want to work, not because I have to work. Get yourself that 3 bad day rule. Give Mike and myself and our team here at ProStatus, give us a call, 866-597-1040, 866-597-1040, and let us put together an income plan for you and hopefully get you that Bonnie plan as well to help get you into the lowest tax brackets legally possible in retirement. 866-597-1040, 866-597-1040.
Well, let's do this. Let's make it extra easy for our listeners, for our viewers right now. If you call in, we've got teammates standing by to take your call. When you call in, tell them that you want the Bonnie plan. Just say that. Hey, I want the Bonnie plan. They know what I'm talking about, and they're going to put you in contact with Mike and Ryan. They're going to get some information from you, and they're going to get you started on that. Again, so call 866-597-1040, 866-597-1040, and ask for the Bonnie plan, the Bonnie plan, the Bonnie plan, the Bonnie plan. And you can also go online to thesavvyinvestorradio.com. Again, that's thesavvyinvestorradio.com, and get started today on your income analysis and full retirement plan. And that is, again, extra special for you listening right now, because they want to make sure that you can retire and retire successfully. 866-597-1040 and online at thesavvyinvestorradio.com. And don't forget about the podcast. If you are enjoying the show, if you want to continue to get more great information like this, you can go to the podcast, the Savvy Investor Podcast, and you can do that by following us wherever you get your podcast from. We're also on Facebook and YouTube as well. Listen, watch on YouTube, like, follow, and all that good stuff, and share that with your friends as well. But the time has come where we got to wrap things up. But before we do, every week we got to do something extra special for our listeners, for our viewers, and for the ProStatus clients. We go over some birthdays. So cue the music.
Every week we go over the birthdays. So, I know I wish happy birthday to Joan last week, but her husband Don is celebrating his birthday this week. So happy birthday, Don. Happy birthday to Connie. Happy birthday to Nick there in my Towson office. And if you're celebrating a birthday or a family member is celebrating a birthday, happy birthday from the ProStatus family, from us to you. Hope you enjoy your day. Hope you enjoy your week. This is Ryan Herbert. Thank you so much for listening to the Savvy Investor Radio, and we'll see you, the Savvy Investor, next week.
Advisory services offered through ProStatus Financial Advisors Group, a registered investment advisor. Insurance licensed in Maryland. ProStatus Financial Advisors Group, LLC is not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if ProStatus Financial Advisors Group is licensed in your state, please call 410-863-1040. ProStatus Group, LLC is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency and does not provide legal or tax advice. Annuity guarantees rely solely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through representatives of ProStatus Financial Advisors Group.